Don't forget to like and subscribe, and share your opinion down below. Am I the idiot for potentially putting a severely disabled woman on the street for my child? I was raised by adoptive parents who took me and another girl in when I was young. They are fairly old, in their 70s. My sister is a non-verbal autistic. She cannot live alone, and she is very sensitive to noise, especially babies. My husband and I, mid-20s, both got laid off last year due to our industries, 1 month after having a baby. We thankfully share a house with another couple with 2 small kids, and he was thankfully able to find a warehouse job that still allows us to pay our rent and stay afloat without destroying our savings. But I can't find a job that would even cover daycare, so I have to stay home. My parents are afraid of the future and are starting to ask me about being a guardian for my sister when they die, which they think may be soon. I told them I can't. We can't afford it and she can't live here due to her issues with noise and that we don't have time for her daily care. They are adamant that it is my responsibility as this is my family. I emphasized that I can't just make the kids here disappear, and they said I would need to do it if I had to, i.e. adopt out my child and move to a place where it could be just us. I asked them if they really thought that I should be rehoming my child and they said that if I was so irresponsible that I couldn't balance it with my duty to my family, that it was what was best. We fought more and I eventually pointed out that they wouldn't take giving up a child so lightly if they had had one and so they had no idea what they were actually asking me to do. Which is technically true. I'm the only person in their generation or mine that ever had a biological child, and it has caused issues before with other things. It's gotten messier and now everyone in my extended family has an opinion. They mostly think I shouldn't take guardianship but should sign for a partial guardianship to make sure I stay up to date and can visit often when she's in a home. This isn't a thing. I've gotten as much legal advice as I can. There is nothing you can sign that would involve any less than full financial and legal responsibility. If I sign anything, I am 100% responsible in every way. I'm refusing to accept signing anything, which may end in her being put on the street when they die. But I can't afford her or rearrange my life for her. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. You are not wrong for prioritizing your own child above your sister, nor for not being in circumstances that would enable you to take her in. Your parents are not wrong for worrying about their child but suggesting that you abandon your own is beyond the pale. It's also unkind of you to suggest that biological children matter more than adopted ones, even out of frustration. Instead of fighting, you need to sit down together with a lawyer and social worker to determine what are the best options for your sister after their passing. Not the idiot. Kids aren't pets. You don't just rehome them for convenience of someone else. You aren't the one who made the decision to adopt this other person. This isn't your responsibility. How manipulative and abusive of them to try to claim it is. Do not do this. No, you're definitely not the idiot for refusing to rehome your baby. I cannot imagine what these people are thinking. I assume your sister is considered legally disabled and receives state welfare benefits. Does she have a caseworker? If so, call that person. If not, if you are in the US, most states have a 211 number to call, which helps connect you with resources. This is free, and it couldn't hurt to see if they can get you help. Again, it's a heartbreaking situation but you are absolutely not the idiot for putting your baby first. Am I the idiot for calling my daughter petty for crying about not being mentioned in my award speech? In the area where I live, I have been a part of a professional association for 30 years, ever since I was 26. Every year, there is an event where a number of awards given out. This year, the event was held over Zoom and I was told that I had been nominated for the Lifetime Achievement Award. My daughter, 27, decided to get tickets. My ex-wife, 56, also bought tickets because my son, 16, wanted to be there. I was happy they decided to be there. I am obviously on speaking terms with my ex-wife because of our minor son and the more the merrier. My wife of a year, 30, and our son, 1, of course were always going to be my guests, so they listened in. I honestly didn't expect to win and didn't want to jinx things by preparing a speech, but when the time came, they announced my name. I was ecstatic because this was the highest honor to be given. My wife and my son were hugging me, and she kissed me on the cheek. So, I started off my speech with that I was sitting here tonight with my beautiful wife and my wonderful son. I said that I'd like to thank them for their support and owe everything I have and continue to do to them. After saying that, I didn't know how to add in anybody else, so I thanked the professional association and ended the speech. Yesterday I was in therapy with my older kids and ex-wife, and my daughter was sullen the whole session and finally started railing against me for ignoring the three of them during my speech, and said that my ex-wife could have been just as successful as me in my profession given how many ideas she's given me in helping me start my business, and that they were the ones dealing with my late nights and absences and being poor for many years. I explained to all three of them that I didn't know I would win and that I was obviously going to acknowledge the people who were currently besides me, and was tongue-tied. My daughter didn't seem to accept that explanation and continued crying. I finally told her that at this point she's just being petty because of old grudges, and my son stood up and said, "Excuse us for being with you at the starting line." My ex-wife also started crying and the therapy session ended there. Am I the idiot for thinking that 3 weeks is enough time to get over sour grapes over a simple speech? You are the idiot. You said you owe everything to your current wife and small child. I'd say she's pretty justified, especially considering they paid to be there. If I wasn't related to you and heard that, I'd think you had no other children. You may have been tongue-tied, but what you said was thoughtless and insensitive. You didn't dispute what your daughter said, so I assume that what she said is correct. That your family sacrificed for your career and that your ex-wife contributed to your early success. It is very odd that you were up for a major award and didn't prepare a speech in advance. I mean, you've been to these events before, right? I can see how you got excited and messed up in the moment, but when your daughter called you out in therapy, where you are supposed to have these conversations, you called her petty? You are the idiot. You are the idiot. Even if you didn't purposefully leave your other children out, it seems super insensitive to not be responsive to your daughter's feelings and to not say you were sorry for hurting her. Imagine how forgotten and replaced that must have made her feel. I can't imagine how awful I'd feel if my dad had done something like that after my parents divorced. Am I the idiot for avoiding my childhood best friend? Lately I have been feeling extremely guilty and I'm wondering if I am in the wrong here. So, my F23 childhood best friend of 14 years, F22, and I used to be joined at the hip. We would do everything together. We would often get into arguments but get over them quickly. My friend has always been easily influenced by other people. Her personality changes drastically depending on who she is with. If she thinks a group is cool, she will adopt their habits, phrases, and behavior, even if that behavior goes against common morals. She has been this way ever since I can remember, and it has always bothered me because I know the real her. So, it started out with her throwing trash on the ground in middle school because the cool kids did it. I never once did it because I do not have it in me to do that. But now that we are adults, her actions have become worse. She recently got a DUI for driving over twice the legal alcohol limit and had her license suspended for 6 months. She was with a new group of friends from her work. I am the only one she told, and I was supportive because she felt terrible, but I could not help but be disappointed that the thought even entered her mind. Let alone what could have happened. I have also come to realize that she always belittles me in front of our other friends, especially at social events. She will often ignore me or exclude me out of the group. I am quite a passive person and I think she takes advantage of that. I have never done this to her. Another thing is I have always been the one she comes to for advice on work, school, relationships, etc. But I never bother her with my problems because she does not give me the same energy back and will often dismiss my problems or tell me to get over it. I am reaching an age where I only want a small amount of friends that truly love and care about me. I'm starting to think she never really has. However, I think I may be the idiot because over our 14 years of friendship we have had so many great times together. She has always put a lot of effort into gifts for me and we laugh together so much. She has always been great when it is just the two of us. She has recently reached out and asked if everything is okay and if she did anything wrong because I have been avoiding hanging out with her. The thought of hanging out with her alone gives me anxiety. I told her she had done nothing wrong and not to worry. I have not told her any of this and I'm not sure if it's worth it. I am scared to burn bridges in case I am in the wrong here. So, am I the idiot? Edit. I will add that she has always suffered with mental health issues. When we were about 15, she attempted suicide by overdosing. It was an extremely difficult time for her, and I was always there for her trying to help. However, this led me to always walk on eggshells around her out of fear she may do it again. I would often disregard my own feelings in a lot of situations which created a dynamic of her thinking she can walk all over me and I will not retaliate. Not the idiot. People change and friends grow apart, that's just part of life. If you want to avoid confrontation, you can just let the friendship run its course and gradually fizzle out. Please don't be anxious. It happens. A friend who I was bridesmaid for a few years ago is now someone I never speak to. We grew apart and our lives changed to a point when we did not fit together anymore. Hopefully, this will give you back some confidence if you're not being belittled any longer. Good luck, OP. Not the idiot. You don't have to completely cut her off. Just back off the friendship, little by little. People grow up and change, and childhood friends become less so. It is nothing strange or abnormal, it's just how life is. Not the idiot. You are not her friend. You are her emotional support animal. You say you put up with her because you know the real her. But for someone with that flexible a personality, who is to say that the person she is with you isn't just another persona she puts on when she is with you? This relationship is extremely one-sided and she is taking advantage of you. The best course of action here is to sit her down, explain everything you have written in this post and tell her things need to change or you do not see any point to continuing the friendship. It is not going to be easy, but it will be for the best. Am I the idiot for telling my husband to get over the fact that my parents call our daughter by a nickname? My husband and I have an 8-month-old daughter named Karina. We loved the name Karina from the get-go and decided on it before she was even conceived. Important context. My husband is white and I'm Punjabi. I'm the only one of my siblings and cousins to have married a white person. My family is fine with it, but it's definitely a noteworthy thing because I'm the only one. This cousin is tall. This cousin loves to go hiking. This cousin married a white guy. Lol. My parents fawn over my husband and my sister's husband because in Punjabi culture it's normal to flatter your daughter's husband. I guess in the olden days it was to make sure she didn't get returned to original owner. So my husband's always had a really positive relationship with my parents. When our daughter was born, immediately my family noted that Karina sounds close to the Punjabi name Kiran, so they jokingly called her Kiran and it stuck right away. It's not a joke anymore. They say it so naturally that it's legit her name to them. I never thought anything of it. All of my nieces' nephews have Punjabi names that we say with a Punjabi accent even when we're speaking in English. Everyone on my side calls her Kiran exclusively. My husband noted a few months ago that he doesn't like it, but I told him I don't think it's a biggie. He said, we named her Karina, and I said okay, that's what 90% of the people in her life will call her. It's not like it's gonna cause some identity crisis. Yesterday when my mom was visiting, my husband randomly says, I'm tired of you calling her by another name. She is our child, not yours. You need to respect that if you want to see her. Double quote. If any of you are Punjabi or from another family-oriented ethnicity, you know that speaking to a parent figure like this is, oh my god, no. Like WTF. Stunned silence. My mom left immediately. She told my dad, and he was pissed. He told my brothers, and they were damn near seeing red. Again, for Punjabis, someone speaking like that to your mom is the epitome of fighting words. I told my husband two things. 1. He needs to get over the nickname. It's not that deep. It's not gonna cause an identity crisis and there's no control to fight over. My parents see our daughter maybe twice a week and just to play and spoil her. Aka normal grandparent shit. 2. He can never, ever speak to my parents like that. Any issue with them needs to go through me. I think we can salvage things from here, but if he ever said something like this again and it got back to my siblings, things would go south real quick. He's mad that I'm not defending him or taking his side. I've listened as he's explained her birth name is Karina. That is her identity. We can't let other people change her name, and I legit don't see a valid point. Our daughter is lucky enough to have a huge family that want to spoil her. Why mess with that? You are the idiot. Your husband is raising a child concern. Just because it sounds the same, it is not the same. You are saying he doesn't have the right to express discomfort over a nickname they chose because they think it's close enough. Newsflash, this man is the father of the child you made together. He does have the right to say something about it, and he doesn't have to go through you to talk to them. You don't even describe what the two names mean. Everyone sucks here. You suck for completely steamrolling your husband, even though he feels disrespected and unimportant in his own child's life. You do not seem to care about that at all. Your husband sucks not for requesting that they call your child by its name, but because he demanded it so disrespectfully when he snapped. Your parents suck for weirdly refusing to call the baby by its name, and for not understanding that in your husband's culture, it's perfectly fine to tell parents when they're out of line. You are the idiot. You and your family are steamrolling your husband's feelings. Your husband gave your mother a very straightforward explanation of how he expected her to act. If she isn't going to respect him, why should he respect her? You married a white guy and now expect him to follow all of your family's customs that he did not grow up with.